This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Explosion shatters Scotiabank ATM in Portland. An early morning explosion has shattered an automated teller machine at the Scotiabank branch in Port Antonio, Portland. The cause of the explosion is not yet known. The incident took place shortly after 3 a.m. amid heavy rainfall on the Harbor Street commercial strip. The impact of the blast has also damaged the main entrance to the banking hallway. Shattered glass lay more than 60 feet from the ATM in the City Plaza complex. Police and the firefighters were at the scene. Normal banking operations could be impacted next week. Desland's mom as a case advertises post. Embattled president of the College of Agriculture, Science and Education, Dr. Derek Deslands, has declined to say whether he will be applying to continue on the post after it was advertised in the Sunday Gleaner last weekend. Deslands, whose contract expired before the start of the school term last September, has been locked in a long-running dispute with the Case Alumni Association, which has been actively lobbying for his removal, citing questionable expenditure on several projects as well as the outcomes during his tenure. Further, it has complained that the Pasley Gardens Portland-based college lacks adequate security on the campus, concerns which have been heightened following the recent abduction and rape of a female student while on her way to an early morning assignment. In a press release issued after that incident, the association said it has lost all confidence in Deslands' ability to lead the college and to protect students' human and capital resources. Deslands must take full responsibility for the ongoing poor security at the college for the past 3 years. Student, staff, and faculty members have been complaining about various security breaches at the college, but the administration fails to take corrective measures, a spokesperson argued in a media release. The past students also called for the Integrity Commission, the Ministry of Education, and the Auditor General's Department to probe income-generating and training development projects at the case. The association has also taken issue with the decision by the Education Ministry to allow Deslands to continue in the post of president, even though his contract expired before the start of the academic year. Asked by the news whether he would apply to continue leading the institution, Deslands said, "Even if I was going to, I wouldn't tell you. In fact, I have no comment." Education Minister Favour Williams, who promised an explanation for the long delay in advertising the post, did not respond to the news queries up to news time. Samuda talks tough against plastic pollution. With renewed plans to tighten the screws on plastic pollution across the globe, Matthew Samuda, minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, has indicated that tough decisions will have to be made locally to address the problem. On the motion of adjournment in the Upper House on Friday, Samuda highlighted a number of concerns relating to the environment as countries around the world observed April 22 as Earth Day. The theme this year is investing in our planet. The government senator, who has responsibility for environmental affairs, drew attention to a historic resolution endorsed by environment ministers and other representatives from 175 nations in Nairobi, Kenya in March this year. The resolution, crafted from 3 previous draft resolutions from various nations, establishes an intergovernmental negotiating committee tasked with the job of completing a draft legally binding agreement by the end of 2024. The pattern of consumption in terms of how we consume plastic will not be the same in 2030 based on how I see this resolution developing and how I expect this treaty to develop, Samuda told his colleagues in the Senate. We have to prepare our manufacturers so that we don't have a fallout in income that comes to them as businesses that then create a fallout in employment, he said. He said that lawmakers will have to work together along with the private sector to get the country ready. Senator Sophia Fraser-Baines, opposition spokesperson on the environment, echoed Samuda's push for talks on protecting the environment. We will have to abandon some of our practices now that bring out economic gains because the expense to the environment is just not worth it, she said. Fraser Binns stressed that those discussions with stakeholders groups are necessary because they will involve the retooling of the workforce and finding innovative economic activities to ensure that the country's unemployment rate continues to decline. We are going to have that discussion, and the opposition stands ready to sit at the table to make its contribution. She also reinforced the need for the country to invest in sustainable agricultural practices to ensure food security. Fraser Binns also wants the promulgation of more modern and robust environmental laws. Fraser Binns also wants the promulgation of more modern and robust environmental laws. As he continued his comments to mark Earth Day, Samuda said Jamaica has to consider other imperatives, such as the greening of the economy, where countries transition from low-carbon or net neutrality by changing their energy mix. He said this was an economic decision that has major political implications. Samuda said that the government has already declared that its ambition was for Jamaica to have 50% of its energy source being derived from renewable sources. July 21 Obstruction of Justice trial for lawyer. Gordon Brown, the attorney for businessman Michael Issa, is booked to stand a trial in the St. James Parish Court on July 21 for obstruction of justice in relation to a case of resisting arrest and indecent language concerning his client. Brown, who appeared in court yesterday and with a calm demeanor, got the trial date and was bound over to attend on the next date when the matter was briefly mentioned before presiding parish judge Sasha Ashley. During the proceedings, the prosecution admitted that full disclosure of documents to Brown's defense attorney, Henry McCurdy, had not been completed. However, it was indicated that the disclosure would be completed ahead of trial, with July 21 as the suggested convenient date. Brown, who had previously appeared in court on March 30, was charged in relation to charges of negligent loss of firearm, indecent language, and resisting arrest which had been laid against Issa, the stepfather of 9-year-old Gabriel King, who was brutally murdered on January 13. The details of the allegations against Brown have not been disclosed. According to reports, Issa was arrested and charged when he went to make a police report on January 13, hours after his stepson was abducted and killed. It is understood that the matter of Issa's licensed firearm, which went missing on December 17, 2021, and was later found, is unrelated to the child's death. Because the firearm was found, the negligent loss of firearm charge against him was eventually dismissed. However, Issa is set to stand a trial in relation to the other charges on May 16. While there are available updates in the respective cases concerning Issa and Brown, there have been scanty updates on the investigations into the death of young King, an issue which has provoked public criticism and condemnation. King, who was developmentally challenged, was abducted from his mother along the Tucker Main Road in St. James on January 13 after she was reportedly carjacked by assailants while navigating a pothole. The assailants dragged the mother from the motor car and made off with the vehicle, with the child still in the back seat. The car was later found abandoned off the Fairfield Main Road in Montego Bay, and the King's body was found at the rear of the vehicle with his throat slashed. His body was later cremated on March 4. On the heels of the child's murder, Senior Superintendent Vernon Ellis, head of the St. James Police Division, said that information revealed to the public about the case must be delivered in a way that will not compromise the investigation. Police foil robbery attempt in St. Elizabeth. Police in St. Elizabeth foiled a robbery attempt on the Church Street Main Road in Junction in the parish on Friday night. Lawmen intervened in the burglary effort after getting a call shortly after 9 p.m. An officer attached to the Junction police station confirmed the incident but could not divulge any further details. There are reports that one of the robbers was killed in the incident, but this has not been confirmed by the police. Man killed after intervening in dispute at a betting shop. A 63-year-old man who intervened in a dispute between two persons was stabbed to death on Old Hope Road in St. Andrew on Friday morning. The police are now seeking a suspect in relation to the murder of the man, who has been identified as Leroy Johnson, a sales representative of Solfield in the parish. According to the police's corporate communication unit, Johnson was stabbed to death at a betting shop about 8:30 a.m. The news understands that Johnson intervened in an argument between the suspect and another salesperson at the shop. The suspect then brandished a knife and stabbed Johnson in the chest before escaping in a motor car. The injured man was taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.